ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Good evening. Welcome to RTA News. Today is Wednesday, September 10, 2025. Thanks for joining us. We begin with, in Karachi, Pakistan, the Islamic Emirates Consul General Maulavi Saeed Abdul Jabbar Takhari met with the Inspector General of the Sindh Police. The meeting focused on the concerns of the Afghan nationals, including preventing arbitrary operations, stopping unlawful detentions, ensuring their dignified transfer back to Afghanistan, and addressing legal residency issues for Afghan refugees. Both sides also discussed mechanisms for the movement of refugees, with the Sindh Police Chief pledging full cooperation. The Minister of Interior Affairs says that Qari Bakhtiar Maaz has been appointed as the new governor of Laghwan province. He was introduced and began his duties in a ceremony attended by Maulavi Muhammad Nabi Umari, first deputy of the ministry, along with local officials. The new governor assured the public of his commitment to serve the people and emphasized that the guidance of the religious scholars is important for the progress and stability of the system. United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer has condemned Israel's attack on the Qatar's capital Doha, calling it a clear violation of the Qatar's sovereignty and a move that will further escalate regional tensions. In a post on his X account, he also stressed the need for an immediate ceasefire and increased humanitarian aid to Gaza Strip. Fazil Mohammad Ayal, head of the Culture Attaché Office in the Islamic Emirates Embassy in Islamabad, met with Mohammad Din Charkari, Director of the National Archives of Pakistan. The Afghan Embassy in Islamabad said the meeting focused on joint cultural cooperation, strengthening ties between the National Archives of both countries, exchanging experiences in preserving cultural heritage and other related matters. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, in a phone call with Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, condemned Israeli attack on the Hamas negotiation team in Doha. Turkish President condemned the attack on Qatar as a violation of its sovereignty, warning it could escalate conflicts and destabilize the region. He pledged full support for the Qatari government and people. Similarly, Saudi Arabia's Minister of Foreign Affairs condemned Israel's actions as a violation of Qatar's territorial integrity and international law, warning of severe consequences and promising support for Qatar. The Islamic Emirate, in a statement, strongly condemned the recent attack by the Zionist regime on the Hamas office in Doha, which left several Hamas members martyrs. The statement expressed condolences to the families of martyrs and to Palestinian fighters, praying for paradise for the martyrs and patience for their families. It further said that targeting the Hamas political office in Qatar is a brutal act against holy human norms. The Islamic Emirate called for an immediate end to Israel's aggression and ongoing atrocities, respect to the sovereignty of nations, and an end to the oppression and suffering of Muslims in Palestine. The Minister of Industry and Commerce met with officials of the Afghan Chamber of Agriculture and Livestock Production to set up a clear mechanism for issuing export invoices and certificates for agricultural products aimed at facilitating and speeding the Afghanistan's fruit and vegetable exports. Here is the report.
The Minister of Industry and Commerce has held talks with officials at the Afghan Chamber of Agriculture and Livestock Production on improving the management and facilitation of fruit and vegetable exports. It was agreed that exporting traders will be introduced to the ministry to receive export invoices and certificates.
It has been decided that in order to improve the process of issuing certificates and registering invoices for fruits and vegetables and to prevent misuse, fruit and vegetables exporting companies will be introduced through the Afghan Chamber of Agriculture and Livestock Production to the Ministry of Industry and Commerce for review and approval of export documents.
The Chamber of Agriculture and Livestock Production says that issuing export certificates and invoices to fruit and vegetable traders will help accelerate Afghanistan's exports process.
Each exporting company will be given a certificate of origin or an invoice, so that if there are 200 companies in a day, 200 truck loads of exports can take place. This will boost exports and create good opportunities for traders.
This is Wael, The Jandar Patan, Ghulam Khan and Angulhara ports remain closed to Afghan fruit exports, leaving dozens of trucks stranded at Jorkham border, racing to cross into Pakistan.
Coordination meeting was held among officials of the specialized and tertiary hospitals in Kabul, chaired by Qari Abdul Wali Siddiqui, Deputy for Finance and Administration for the Ministry of Public Health. The ministry said that during the meeting, the Director General of the Curative Medicine emphasized the use of locally produced medicines and called for preventing the issuance of secret prescriptions. The Financial Committee of the Torkham refugee camp says that 593 million Afghanis have been distributed to 67,000 families deported from Pakistan, all funded by the Islamic Emirate. Meanwhile, officials in Nangarhar province report that land distribution has begun for 24,000 homeless refugee families in Behsoud, Khogiani and Rodad districts of the province. Here is the report.
Officials at the Torkham Umari camp reports that since Pakistan started forcibly deporting Afghan refugees, the Financial Committee has distributed 592 million Afghanis to those in Umari camp by the end of August.
Since the 8th month of 1402, when the process of forced deportation of migrants from Pakistan began, a total of 593 million Afghanis have been distributed to 65,500 families.
The Nangarhar Provincial Directorate of Refugees and Repatriations has announced the commencement of land distribution for Afghan refugees in the province, starting with 24,000 families.
Previously, 24,000 names had been registered, and out of those, construction work on 6,000 houses had been completed. It was decided that the ownership documents for these 6,000 completed houses would be handed over. Once the process for the full list of 24,000 names is completed, distribution will resume.
The Pakistani government has set a deadline for Afghan refugees living in the country to leave by the end of August this year. This deadline has sped up the process of Afghan refugees returning to Afghanistan.
A cooperation agreement worth nearly $400,000 has been signed between the National Disaster Management Authority and the Afghanistan Empowerment Institute. The National Disaster Management Authority states that under this agreement, food and cash assistance will be distributed to over 16,000 needy and affected families across the districts of Kunduz and Baghlan provinces. The National Development Company says excavation of the second phase of Qushtepa Canal is progressing rapidly, with 93% of the work, including the head wall and bridge, already completed. Here is the full report.
The National Development Company reports that the second phase of the Qushtepa Canal is 93% complete, with construction of the head walls, bridges, and water control structures underway. Officials add that the project, led entirely by Afghan engineers, has also created direct employment opportunities for skilled workers.
Excavation work on the second phase has progressed approximately 93%, and the construction of the main dam for this major canal has reached 82% completion. Along the canal route, work on several bridges and water regulations structures is also ongoing. With 2 bridges already completed, construction on 13 other bridges and water control structures is actively underway.
The CEO of the company recently visited the ongoing canal works. The spokesperson for the National Development Company said the project is progressing professionally and is expected to be completed on schedule, if not ahead of it.
The National Development Company assures all citizens that, to the best of its ability, this project will be completed ahead of the scheduled time and in full accordance with all international standards.
The National Development Company adds that once the second phase is completed, work on the third phase focused on distributing sub-canals and land will begin.
The Ministry of National Defense says that through the efforts of the professional and technical teams, 9 Russian armored tanks, 7 T-55 and 2 62s have been repaired and made operational again in the 3rd Bridge, 2nd Infantry Division of the 330 Central Corps in Polcharki. That was all for tonight. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.
Satu i pasru inu da shahidanu kur da